It is Friday, May 24th. Yeah, can you believe it? 2024, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Where? Right here on the West Coast. Who am I? Brannon Beliso. And what is this? This is Success Never Sleeps, where we, as a collective of small martial arts school owners, because that is the audience, you are my hero. I am most passionate about helping you achieve your version of success. And we're just trying to figure out this thing called life. Somebody reached out to me today, and I'm so blessed. I'm blessed that I'm able to serve people and help people beyond just the monetary gain of being a consultant and doing what I do, and just genuinely giving of myself. And somebody posted this meme, and whether it's true or not, I just think it says a lot. The baseball player, Atami, the highest paid hits, pitches, the guy from Japan. And they have a picture of him hitting, then they have a picture of him picking up a piece of trash in the dugout or on the way to the locker room. And they took the meme and they basically fundamentally said his ability to pay it forward, whether picking up trash is that big of a deal or not, his ability to pay it forward, his mindset of doing the little things each day to be a better version, to, allows him to be as successful as he is. I think that's really important. When you become successful and you're a big butthead, right, and you're selfish and you hoard money and you're not nice to people, I really believe you're going to self-implode. What I think is really amazing, like that other cliche meme, is that, to genuinely help somebody when there's nothing in it for you, without any ulterior motive, really, I think sets that mindset of success that I talk about so much, because I am huge on paying it forward. That's a big part of what I do. I don't believe there's a single school owner in this world, if they really needed to reach out to me and ask me a question, I would be unwilling to answer it without some type of monetary value attached to it. And that's just who I am. From growing up with so little, growing up on welfare and poverty, I know the capacity and what it feels like to have nowhere to turn to not have the resources to buy a new pair of shoes or even eat at times. So I love to pay it forward. Do I think that helps me down the road? Emotionally, it does. Spiritually, it does. Mentally, it does. And if I feel better about myself, I believe I serve people better. And so I think the whole thing of the law of attraction, paying it forward, the law of abundance, they all kind of go hand in hand in creating the type of wealth that money alone simply cannot buy. Simply cannot buy. So you take that one to the bank. So let's begin by thanking our sponsors. Who do we have? Tusa, we have Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting, right? These are all services I'm influencers for, but more importantly, I'm a client of every one of these products and these people, and I have relationships with all of them. I'm constantly promoting them because they're good people. Are they perfect? No, nobody is. No relationship is perfect. But I believe if you value the relationship, you go through the highs and lows with a company. And I've done that with all 5 of these vendors, and I will continue to do so because the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Man, I'm just in this philosophical state, am I not, Marco? Everything has some deep meaning behind it today. I must be in a state with this Memorial Day weekend. Let me welcome people coming aboard. Hey, what's happening? Artin. Artin, that's a new name. Artin, where are you from? Let us know if you have a school, the name of your school, where you're tuning in from. Bob Poole, Goals Martial Arts. Beth, one of my heroes who's working so hard at Dragon Martial Arts to create this legacy business for her kids, right? For her kids. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So what do I got coming up? It's Time Life Purpose. That's coming up November 9th to 12th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from San Francisco Airport. So it's very convenient. I encourage everybody, sign up for the 4-day experience. It will change your life. First day, Saturday, all training, observing classes, see how our $2 million operation runs. Hang out with Dave Kovar, the legend when it comes to training instructors to do what they do better. Sunday, all business, all business, yes, all business on Sunday because you are in the martial arts business. Monday, outdoors, hiking, personal development. It's all about you, because you are the architect of your business. And that for me is really important. Then Tuesday, we strategize. Sam On is there to teach us how to build wealth, right? Then we strategize, accountability partners. And then we put together actionable steps to take us into the new year. We eat really good. If you like to eat really good, and the majority, I'd say 90% of your meals are covered, transportation's covered. It is an investment, but you are your own best investment. I recommend the 4 days. Don't hesitate. It always sells out. Sign up today. Do that for yourself. Sunjay, how you doing, Sunjay? Sunjay works with us in our It's Time group mentoring. You can post that, Marco. Me, Monique, Marco, and Jason Smith run the It's Time group mentoring. I think it's an affordable product for today's small school owner, but maximum value. We text, we meet, we go through every aspect of your business with a fine-tooth comb. And I know Sunjay just loved the decluttering. I love decluttering. Everything I own fits in one dresser. I kid you not. I'm always decluttering my clothes constantly. That's a big one for me. I want to get to my garage. I want to declutter that garage. But to declutter your life clears away things, and it brings things to the surface. I'm sure, Sunjay, when you were decluttering the school and cleaning it, some most obvious things probably popped out at you. Like, wow, how did I let that go? How did I not see that? But see, now that you're awake, Sunjay, from doing that, um, it's going to allow you, it's going to catapult you, it's going to create that awareness you need to make the other changes in your business. Oh, Artin, you're with All Star Martial Arts, right? You're with All Star Martial Arts. Master Andrew is one of my clients in my wisdom program. If you have that slide, you can throw that up too, Marco. We try to create products that I genuinely believe will serve you. And depending upon where you are economically, you can choose your investment. I think the most important part about consulting is that I don't give you a fish. I teach you to fish. That's very, very important. But fear, the law of scarcity. If I take you on as a client, my only angle is I need to keep you as a client. That's why I have the consistent revenue stream. That will never happen if I teach you to fish, right? So a lot of consultants behave that way, whereas I want to teach you to fish. If you don't graduate from me at some point and move on to do what you do, then I have failed you miserably, miserably, miserably. So that's really important to me to have that core value that we will always make sure we teach you to fish, whether it's time, in November, whether it's the It's Time group mentoring or wisdom. So, what is this all about today? Questions. I know for me, asking the right questions is more important than simply asking a question. So, I want you to start putting your questions in there, okay? Put your questions in there. I have a leaky roof. I can see it. It's leaking down, right? Who do I call? What's the right question? Who is it? Who do I call? Well, if I have limited knowledge, I would assume, which is very, very bad, that I have a leaky roof and I'm going to call a roofer, correct? Okay. Well, there's other variables here. I have an attic space, right? There's a space between the ceiling and the roof. Are there pipes up there? What about that? Right? It could be a leaky pipe. Oh, I remodeled my home in 2019. We put all the pipes underground, right? Under the house. So it can't be a pipe. That's for darn sure. See? So again, you ask the right questions based upon gathering your own data first, right? Really understanding what is your brand, what is your purpose, right? Who are you? What is it you genuinely need? Otherwise, you're just asking questions to ask questions, when in reality, none of those questions are the right questions. And the fact that they're not the right questions, even if I give you the right information, you are not going to take actionable steps. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So let's start getting some questions in here. If you have a question, you're with us live. Anybody live, please tell me your name, tell me where you're tuning in from, and more importantly, spread the love. Share this right now with another school owner who could benefit, or a group that could benefit from us. Okay. All right. So, what are your procedures after someone takes a trial class? That's a really good one. In our group call yesterday with Kin Creative, we had that conversation. And what Kin Creative does is, we make Facebook ads. Another company that I'm working with, Kin Creative. I love those boys up in Canada. Because they use a VC service, but their VCs aren't out of another country. Their VCs are strictly US and Canada. They're martial artists, so they get what we do. And that to me is a huge, 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 huge difference. I'm not talking to some VC in the Philippines reading off a script. These are people who are martial artists who work with parents every day and get it. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So they make the call, they schedule the lead. The lead comes in for their complimentary class. As soon as that complimentary class finishes, you need to follow up immediately. And if you're there on site, then you may follow up with, hey, how'd you enjoy the class? Here's our tuition schedule. Um, can I get you signed up today? Right? And have a uniform ready. It's always a little ad if you can be holding that uniform and do that. Some people will sit you down in an office and they'll do what they call closing you, right? They're very sales driven. So they have a sales script they worked on to get you through the door, a sales script to during the trial, and a sales script to close you. That's fine too, if that's what works for you. For us at One Martial Arts, we work with Kin. So as soon as that intro finishes, right, their complimentary class, we notify Kin Creative right away. That way, Kin can immediately get in contact with the client, see how their experience was, if they're ready to sign up, and how to do that. Right? Out of sight, out of mind. Really important. And again, everything's a relationship, right? Think about it. Going back to the day, you meet a girl in the club and she gives you her phone number, right? There used to be that rule. Well, I'm going to wait 2 days. Don't want to seem too desperate. I'm going to wait. I think there's just a certain thing when it comes to services and stuff like this where a genuine, simple follow up. Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're ready to sign up, please, can we take care of that for you now? Well, no, I need to talk to my husband and, we got to think about it with our summer plans. All of that's fine. But make sure you understand that time lapse. The longer it takes you, if you do it yourself, to respond to a trial, better chance they're not going to sign up. And what are we really after? Number one, how was your experience? Two, can I review our tuition investment programs with you? Three, are you ready to sign up? That's basically it, right? Genuinely concerned. How'd you like it? Was it everything you wanted? Wonderful. Great. Let's discuss our tuition because if you can't afford it, you can't do it. And then lastly, can I sign you up today? That's simple. Those are the three things. But if you do that a week later, 2 weeks later, it's not going to go well. I would even follow up and send them a thank you postcard or a you did great postcard. We use you're an awesome postcard. I would do that. I would do that. Anything that you can do to keep yourself on their mind, and in their sight is a good thing. Influencing marketing, right? How do you influence them? But I'm totally against this. Look me in the eye. I'm totally against you taking a picture of them on their first day and posting them at social media. The relationship is not strong enough yet. Again, listen to me. Relationships. You're out on your first date with a girl or a guy, right? You whip out your phone and you can, hey, can I take a picture of us? Why? Well, why do you want to do that? I'm going to post it at social media. Here we are on our first date. Now, you say that's not the same as a martial arts school. I would beg to differ. What we're discussing is a relationship and human beings. I think that's too intrusive and way too early in the game. And I see it all the time. Even worse is the kid holding the damn Instagram sign, right? The Instagram frame. That to me is just totally exploitive. That's me. And that's our culture. Cool? Keep those questions coming in. What's up, Miss Monique? If you're coming aboard, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from, please. And all the regulars here, get signed up for It's Time Live Purpose as we're beginning to run ads. This was eye-opening for us about the pictures on the first day. I think so. Again, we are human beings, Beth. And if we would just sit down and think as a human being, not as a school owner trying to sign up another student, that really changes everything of how we view human beings. I once took somebody's seminar and they told me, do you know what I see when a potential new student walks through the door? And I'm going, To myself, well, I see the opportunity to cultivate a meaningful relationship. And their reply was no. I see $10,000 across their chest. And I just kind of sat there, okay, all right. That's one way to view a relationship. Not my choice, doesn't fit our culture of live your best life. So we don't do that. But again, having a system in place is super important. In my studio, which is a product that we use when we do our internal trials outside of Kin Creative, um, as soon as we check you in, as soon as we check you in for attendance, an automated email flow is triggered. And that automated email flow starts with, thank you so much. We really hope you were living your best life, right? Promote your brand statement. You lived your best life today in our complimentary introductory class. Here's the schedule because scheduling's super important. Does it fit your schedule? And let me sidebar on that one right now. The reason we don't do mass intros, the reason we don't do a scheduled time for a private lesson, for two reasons. Number one, if you can show up to one of our beginner classes to take the trial, I can almost safely assume that that will fit your schedule to enroll in our programs, right? Number two, I want you to test drive the product that you're buying. I can't tell you how many times back in the day I'm batting a 99% sign up rate with my one on one trials, right? And this kid does really well one on one, but then you get him in the group class, and it's like, oh, well, what's going on here, right? The kid's really shy, won't get on the floor, or they're running around bouncing off the walls. I believe it's very important to test drive the car. Now, the way we've mitigated that is you do the warm up and the stretch in the class. You hear the live talk with the class. Then we separate you. We staff accordingly and we separate you. And we move that lead right to where the parents are sitting, closest to them. That's why we have the pony walls, so the parents can lean into the classes and hear what's going on. We don't use glass. We don't exclude the parents. We want them involved. We believe it's a huge retention tool. And I'm never spending time fighting people, get off your cell phone, any of that. Once in a while, a baby might lose it, a sibling might lose it. And the parents are really good about taking the kids outside so it doesn't disrupt the class. So we move the child over to where the parent is sitting and we do our process. Then after that, they finish with the class. And of course, if you're finishing with a fun game like dodgeball, oh, that kid's, just having a good old time. And then we wrap up the class. We thank them for coming in front of everybody. We award them a best job badge for trying something new, and it's done. So they're already getting these emails, and it's on their phone, right? Boom. So they're going, oh, wow. So that impulse buy, I don't want impulse buy. I want an educated decision. My better chance of a longer term relationship of retention is so much better. You got a really good sales script. You pressure sell them. You get them to sign up. That's why a lot of places have what? 72 hours of buyer's remorse. 72 hours. It's some law here in California that they have 72 hours to bring that car back or whatever. Buyer's remorse because you pressure sailed them, right? Or they did an impulse buy. Neither of which is sustainable. Neither of which I believe I can build a long-term relationship on. You with me? So that's what we do after a trial. I give you a few more things in there, but the goal is to get you to think. Cool? All right. Let the parents post a picture. Yeah. Going back to that, Beth, it's wonderful. There's not too many parents in today's world that doesn't whip out their phone and take a picture or a video. There just isn't. They're so conditioned, right? After what, 20 years of Facebook now? I don't know how long Facebook's been around. Maybe you can look that up, Marco. So, sir, you are a successful school owner. How did it look when you first started? What is your advice for a young man wanting to start the journey of owning a school and becoming successful? That's a really good question. It really is. I'm going to first give you this diagram, right? I shared it with Marco. I'll share it with Miss Monique and everybody because it's something we should be using. I'm starting to write an article about it, and I think it's going to turn into a book because there's so much depth here. You have a circle, okay? You have a circle like this, Artem, and I know this is really heavy, but I want you to take this into consideration. You have a circle, and the middle of it is I want to open my own martial arts school, okay? I want to open my own martial arts school. Then, if you look from the middle of a circle, Artin, and I hope I'm saying that right. I don't mean to say your name incorrectly. From the center of this circle, every point to the edge of the circle is of equal distance, right? Of equal distance. So, 1 point, leasing. Second point, business plan. Third point, resources. Fourth point, right? My first 2, 3, 4 years of projections. Fifth point, what is my budget going to be? Sixth point, right? So you have all these points on the circle, but they are all of equal value. They must all be addressed, Artin. All of them must be addressed. But the minute I go, open my own business, no, I'm really scared. I don't know what that means. So you only go halfway to the edge of the circle. I cannot make a decision from halfway to the edge of the circle. Or my instructor's going to sell me the school. He's retiring. I'm way out here, way outside that circle. I would never make a decision from way outside the circle. I want to make sure all my different choices, Artin, with opening this business are of equal value. And the reason that's important in a mindset that you cultivate is because when I work with small school owners, the first thing I'll say is, what marketing did you do today? Oh, well, I don't do any marketing. That's 1 point on the circle. You must spend time with it. What did you do with curriculum development? I don't know. I just teach what my teacher taught me. No, no, no. That's another point of and they all deserve equal time. They all deserve equal input and value and consideration. Because I would assume, Artin, right now, you are a martial arts instructor, correct? And you work at All Star. So I know Andrew extremely well. So I'm going to give you two takes. One, if I can open a school with Andrew in partnership, I would definitely do that. That would always be my first choice. I got off the phone with a school owner today, right? It's no different than buying a franchise. Why do people buy franchise businesses and pay licensing fees, right? Why is it that 90% of franchises succeed where 90% of mom and pop businesses fail? Okay. It's because they have systems, they have a brand, they have good business plans, budgeting, the whole thing in place to teach you, right? You want to go out there on your own and go through trial and error and mistakes and falling down. Yes, you will make the lion's share of that business. You will make the lion's share of the profit at some point. But I do believe partnering with somebody can help me scale better, quicker, and faster. Does that make sense, Arden? Now, if I do choose to go out on my own and start my own school, number one, do a business plan. Number one, do a business plan. Just a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Powerful, right? Because if you're working for somebody right now, Artin, you are not a business owner. You do not have a business owner mindset yet. Doesn't mean you can't obtain it, right? But I have humbly recognized, number one, there's a skill set to being a martial artist. It's not the same skill set to being a great martial arts instructor. I have a lot of great martial artists in my school. They will never be an instructor. Never, never be an instructor. It's a different skill set. Now, this is the big jump. There's a huge skill set difference between somebody that's a great martial arts instructor and somebody that's a great business owner. So you need to become a black belt in business. That's it. Because you're no longer just a martial artist or a martial arts instructor. You are in the martial arts business, Artin. So you need that skill set. That's why writing this business plan is very enlightening. You will learn when you do the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? Great martial arts business owners think of all of it. No, I'm positive. I'm positive. I get that. I get that. But I need to look at best case scenario and worst case scenario, for the lack of better terminology. Then in that, you also do a demographic study. I'm super challenged when someone tells me, and I say, why did you open your school here? Because I live here. That is not a good reason. I want to do a demographic study so I know who lives there. And then I better want to know, Is there an audience there that can support my services, that have a need for my services? I cannot sell air conditioners in Alaska. Impossible. Nobody needs an air conditioner. Just does not happen. So again, if I open up a school for adults strictly in a very child-rich community of families and elementary schools and preschools, I'm probably not going to be very successful. So that demographic study is very enlightening, and it's one that any company does. Starbucks, Apple, you name it. Everybody does a demographic study before they choose a location where they're going to open. Do not do it because you live there. And then the projections. When I can write out my projections, year one, how much we're going to make, what's our expenses going to be, year two, and I can have a projection, they see that you're thinking out your business. So again, if I can take this to a bank and get a business loan, the more thorough my business plan is, the better, right? That's just the way that goes. So for me, the business plan is imperative to that. And then last but not least, this one's really important. Yes, sir. This one's very important for me. And it's one people don't think about, but I really pay attention to this. I really want you to get this clear. If you're going to open a martial arts business, I want to know you have 2 years of savings, personal, rent, groceries, everything. Don't forget medical, because odds are, unless you can piggyback on your significant other's medical, right? If I'm married, I could use, and my wife has a job, then I can use, hers, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Um, I want to have 2 years of complete personal bills. Then, then I want to also have 2 years of operating expenses. 2 years of operating expenses. Is that clear? Because I want rent, payroll, marketing, supplies, everything for 2 years. Because more than the peace of mind that comes with, I got to make rent, I got to make rent, I got to make rent. More than that is you have now developed a disciplined habit of saving. Doesn't matter if I make $1 million and I spend $2 million, I'm $1 million in debt. I make $100 and spend $50, I have $50 in the bank. And the minute I can create a profitable business, I can take that money and create passive income, whether it's buying real estate and renting it to someone, they pay my mortgage and I'm building equity, or I invest in the stock market, or I use that money to buy a franchise business, a McDonald's or whatever, right? But at some point, if your business isn't profitable, it's simply a hobby business. That's a lot to stomach, Harton. That's a lot to stomach. But I want you to really think about that. The 4 books you must read: E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Read it, and then you can hit me up later. Good to Great by Jim Collins. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then The Mindset by Carol Dweck. Are we clear? And those are the 4 books. I know. Let me answer Bob's question here, Marco. Should you encourage a parent to tag your school in their public post? Absolutely, but not right away. And I would do that organically, Bob, through my e-newsletter every month. I would have something hanging on the bulletin board conveniently, hey, if you like what we do, please tag us in your social media posts, different things like that. But I'm not huge on soliciting. We just started talking to Yelp again. And I was a beta tester when Yelp first came out because they're a San Francisco company. And they put up in the right-hand corner, do not solicit reviews. Do not. Do not. They frown on it. They'll see the IP address. When you set up a computer at your school, all these, reviews are coming from your IP address, and you will get dinged for it. I think soliciting reviews is a bad thing. Creating awareness for those reviews are a really good thing. Yeah, you should have a bulletin board, Bob, because we love the community-based marketing. And when any other business or high school who's doing a play or things like that can come in and hang something on that bulletin board, it creates a kinship with the community. And I see it. Jamba Juice has a bulletin board. Starbucks has a bulletin board. Think about that for a minute, okay? These companies have bulletin boards, right? They have bulletin boards. So if they can do it, we should do it. We should do it. I think it's goodwill into the community and one that I am a huge advocate for. No, huge advocate. I am a huge advocate for that. Okay. So I want you to think about that. All right. Next question. Put it in. Arjun, yeah, I know. Thank you so much, sir. I feel like I've gained years of knowledge in just a few minutes. I have a fear of making decisions because of the large number of options and advice I've received from multiple successful people who I truly respect. All of their words carry a lot of weight. Thank you again, sir. Um, I think with business, there's one thing I want to lean into here is I get that you love what you do and you want to make it your life. And for me, that's extremely something I would be humbled and proud for in any environment of my life. But I understand when I make a business decision, I remove all emotion from it. And fear is one of those things. So, Artin, looking at that circle, you're here. Fear doesn't ever get to the edge of the circle. You're here. So it's never going to be of equal value with all of the other decision making processes because fear paralyzes you, fear blinds you, right? And fear is real. It's a human emotion, but it's like how I define courage to my youth students. Courage is admitting that I'm afraid, but I don't allow it to stop me. That's it. It's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to allow that fear to influence your thinking and stop you from making decisions. Because are you going to fail? Yes. Are you going to make mistakes? Yes. Are you going to burn through money? Yes. That's all earmarks of a growing business, of a thriving business, of any business. I've made many bad decisions. I've lost money, right? I've made bad choices, but the yin to the yang of that is I've done really, really well. And I liken that art into a basketball player. The best basketball player shoots like 40%. That means 60% of the time they're missing. The best hitter in baseball, I think, is 486 at one point, and that's really, really high for a hitting average. So he's missing, 50, 60% of the time. That's just part of it. And if you don't have the stomach like that for business, then don't get into business. Don't. But if you are going to get in business, all the things I mentioned today are just good, sound business practices to best prepare you and position you for success. Cool? All right. Is there a difference between reminding people they can leave a review versus soliciting by other means? Otherwise, how do you remind people or encourage them to do it? You know, that's a rough one. I'm going to tell you. That is a rough one because what we're fundamentally discussing here is again relationships, going to the person you're dating and asking them, "Why am I not on your freaking social media posts? We're going out, we're dating. Why don't you put our picture there? Why don't you tell people how awesome it is?" I know. When you think of it like that, you're like, man, that's pretty sucky, right? That's pretty sucky. But here's a way that we do that, okay? And I'm just going to give it to you this way because I think it's important. I think it's important. We do a Easter. No, we don't do it at the Easter. We do it at the Halloween and the holiday party. So here's one way that we do that. We have selfie stations. And when I learned this, we were on vacation in LA and it was raining one day, so we couldn't go do what we want to do. We ended up in a museum where you took selfies, all these 3D selfies, all these different things. And logically, why am I going to take a damn selfie if I'm not going to post it at social media? So we have all these selfie stations during Christmas. And everyone you take a picture in front of, we give you one ticket. And we give out, gift cards for Target, Trader Joe's. The grand prize is a week of camp. We give away a premium birthday party. And then one of the things we have at this event is we have a QR code that goes directly to our review site at Google. Directly to it. Directly to it? No, directly to it. And so you just scan it. And if you leave us a review, we give you 3 tickets. Is it solicitation? Yes, but it's their choice. And we don't pressure them. It's up to them. It's up to them. They don't have to do that. They can take more selfies and get more tickets, right? They don't have to do that. So that works really, really well. With this QR code is conveniently located so people see it. I'm going to go a step further and I'm going to actually post them in the bathrooms in different places. So it's convenient. It's convenient and people can leave us reviews. But the act of soliciting is, literally in the old days, it's going up to somebody's door and knocking on it, right? And I'm not advocating for that. But if you do something amazing like this black belt testing and everybody has a great time, right? And it's memorable, then I taint it by saying, hey, if you've never left us a review, can you please leave us one? That sucks. That sucks. You just took this amazing event and you tainted it. So I want to be mindful in my strategy of trying to create awareness. We will always say, if we have earned it, please feel free to leave us a review, not a 5-star review or any of those other gimmicks, just, but it needs to be there organically. I would post it at my social media page and it would be in that wording. Please, if you believe we have earned it, would you consider leaving us a review? Here's the link. That's fine. You want to put that into your emails? That's fine. It sits in our e-newsletter every month, right on the bottom. Feel free to leave us a review. And then in the same wording I said, I just don't want it to be a pressure tactic or, holding it over their head or making people feel guilty or uncomfortable in that process. And the fact that you're asking that question, I think it's already very kind. I think you're in the right headspace and you're going to write something that isn't solicitation, but an awareness. So if they feel so inclined, they may do so. Cool. All right. Bob Poole saying, with the birthday party, does the birthday child reserve a birthday belt? You can do that. You can do that. We give them a t-shirt because a t-shirt is something they'll wear more actively, Bob, out in, out in the general public when they're outdoors. Terry Lee, she spoke at the It's Time Live last year in November. Every trial, as she calls them, comes through the door. They get a t-shirt. Everybody gets a t-shirt. And she does no Facebook marketing. She does no kind of digital media. She's old school. Terry Lee has 800 freaking students. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm going to try to get a mass discount on t-shirts because imagine that, just like we do at a birthday party. We give this birthday celebrant a t-shirt. Now, our birthday parties are premium, $750 a birthday party. But imagine if I wrote into my advertising budget, I'm going to give a t-shirt to every trial who walks through the door. They might be so inclined to wear that outdoors, and that's free advertising, right? So I like the birthday belt. I think it's okay. If I can budget for that and a t-shirt, even better. I don't believe they'll wear the belt out in public, but they may be more inclined to wear your t-shirt, especially if it's cool looking, right? Especially if it's cool looking. The other night, my wife was with my son at basketball practice, at the sports complex. There were kids out there wearing One Martial Arts t-shirts. I thought that was very cool. And my wife texted me with a picture and said, you know what? We should give more t-shirts out. Ding, 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 ding. So I'm thinking about that now. Yeah, but the birthday belt's fine. It is. What's the next question from Beth? We have birthday belts and then they break a board, they take a video and send it to the parents. Do they break a wooden board or a re-breakable board? I would encourage you use wood so all the kids can take them home and show it off, that they broke this board, right? And to me, it's so anticlimactic. Breaking a real piece of wood is a lot more symbolic. Everybody gets that. Breaking a plastic breakable thing and you put it together for every kid. It's like, yeah, I just broke that. You can put it back together. What the heck? I think it lacks. You want to go a step further? Take that board and put a stamp on it. Bring in this board for one complimentary class, right? On and on. I mean, there's so many ways to do that. We don't give them the belt, right? They get to be a black belt for their birthday and stand at the front of the class. Sure, sure. Yeah, and to them at that age, a black belt doesn't mean anything. I think what's more important is that we create a user experience that you are in their memories forever, forever, forever. So if and when they want to do day camp after school, a sibling birthday party, or martial arts, you're the first person they think about. See, the big thing I'm learning so much working with Kin Creative, right? I'm part of their team. Is 66% of the people that come to your website are not ready to buy. That's a big percentage, right? Big percentage. Well, guess what? 100% of those people at your birthday party are not there for martial arts. So when you take this amazing experience you can create, this memorable experience of a birthday party, and you fill it with salesmanship, it's just such, you know, I don't dig it. And again, firsthand experience. My son at the age of 3 or 4 was invited to a local martial arts school here for a birthday party. And we found out later from the parents that part of what this school does, which is standard in our industry, many schools offer free birthday parties, X number of spots a month to our students. Do a free birthday party. We'll supply the team, the pizza, the juice, right? You bring the cake. Okay, pretty standard. But I think the fact that it's free, the parent will have no room to complain about the choices the school owner makes in the delivery of that birthday party, okay? Of that birthday party. So, with that said, I'm sitting there on my phone, leaning against the wall. My son's out there playing games. And the first thing was the guy who came up to me with the clipboard, right? Because he's told to do it. Hey, sir, how you doing today? Which one's yours out there? Oh, my son, that's my son there. Have you ever thought about enrolling him in martial arts today? Because the birthday attendee here, you're entitled to A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, and da 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 da. I said, that's okay, sir. I'm just, you know, just here with my son. All right, permission to bother you again? Okay. And he must have came back to me maybe 2 or 3 times because, he did his loops. First time someone says no, no means maybe. Next time you come around, maybe means yes. And so they're taught to do that. They're taught to do that. And then the guy on the mat, between every other game, he announced. And remember, today we got Johnny Smith walking around with his clipboard there. You can sign up, and because you're a birthday celebrant, you get ABC discount and XYZ. And for me personally, it just really left a bad taste in my mouth. But again, if it's a free birthday party, I didn't pay for it. Who's going to complain? Nobody. Nobody. But when we saw the potential to turn this birthday party into another revenue stream by offering this amazing experience, here we are today at $750 a birthday. And people want it. I mean, people want it all the time, all the time. And of course, we do, have things for them to take home. They all earn one of Life Skills Merit Badge at our parties. And I can't tell you how many kids have been picked up from a buddy day, a parents' night out, or a birthday party going, Mom, I earned this teamwork badge today. Teamwork means working together. They said my best team's my family. Mom, can I get a uniform to put my badge on it? See, but and again, that was out of simply creating value that this happened organically. Are you with me? I hope you are. So that's my feeling about that, right? The whole thing when it comes to that. Again, just stop looking at every event as a lead event. That I think changes the playing field tremendously, 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 tremendously. We have a booth with a balloon twister, a face painter, Kung Fu Panda, bubbles blowing, the cotton candy machine, everything. It would totally taint that experience if someone goes, "Can I have a cotton candy? How much is it?" No, it's totally complimentary, courtesy of One Martial Arts. But you must give me your name and email. You want a balloon twisted? Sure. But you must give us your name and email first. That just changes everything, right? Again, think relationships, people. Think relationships. I walk into a bar back in the day. I've been married 17 years. And I go, "Hi, I'd like to buy you a drink. But you got to give me your phone number first." And I think when we talk about organic marketing, when we talk about the things I'm sharing with you, what I'm really leaning into and sharing with you passionately is think of the relationship first. That's all. Think of the relationships first, please. And I believe you'll get better leads, better conversions, more long-term retention, but it takes time, right? It just takes time to do that. Okay, let's see what Beth's question is here. We are starting to book birthday parties like crazy. Good. Every kid breaks a board, and the birthday kid gets to cut their cake with a sword, not sharp. And we give them a shirt at the end of the party. Sure. Sure, Beth. Sure. Right. And if you conveniently have information, sometimes, and we don't push this one, we ask, can we put our little call to action card into your goodie bags? Right? I mean, think about that. Right? You might be able to do that as well. But again, for my wife and I, after that experience and taking our kids to different birthday parties, we pretty much seen every birthday set up within a 5 mile radius of our brick and mortar location, sometimes 10 miles. So we said, well, what is really good about these birthday parties? What's really bad about them? Right? We don't have the bouncy house. We don't have the trampolines. Okay, we can't do that. But what can we do? We can create this experience where you're one of one in a given day. We used to do 2 birthday parties a day. We don't do that anymore because we don't want to rush you out, right? Like they do at a lot of the other places. And we realized we could really make this child the star of the show. And we could serve. So little things like helping the parent empty their car when they arrive, packing up all the gifts at the end, sitting there at the front door on a microphone, welcome to Johnny Smith's 6th birthday party, taking the present, putting it into a storage jar. The little things. We have the pizza timed where it's delivered hot and it's on a plate hot when the kids walk back there. That's how tight we have it. See, so all those different things. We orchestrate the cake cutting. We cut the cake. We deliver the cake. We, dish it out. All of those things add up to that user experience. And that's really more what we were after. And from it, our birthday parties are booked, 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 and booked. And it's definitely a revenue stream at $750 for 2 hours. Cool? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beth, what is Beth adding in there? Something. I better put my freaking glasses on sometimes. All right. All thanks to you, we are doing a Fortnite theme one next. Good. No martial arts except break a board. Yeah. I mean, we get different theme parties all the time. And my wife custom makes all the decorations. Now, at the Kickers, we don't decorate the main floor, but when they walk back into this party room, they're just like mind blown. And they get to take the banner that says happy birthday with their kid's name on it. So they get these memorable experiences to take with them. Yeah, they get to take with them. Cool. All right. Next question. How are we doing on time? We still got 11 minutes. Good. Good. What's our next question? Put it in, put it in. How do you handle conflict or issues within your student body or staff? Well, first I have to be aware of it. Sometimes things will happen. I'm not at either location very much, but the fact that I'm not, we borrow from a gentleman named Rudy Mick, who taught me a lot about communication. Rudy Mick is brilliant, Miick. I always give Rudy credit. So if you're looking for somebody phenomenal who can come in and nurture that communication, Rudy Mick is brilliant, brilliant. I think if I know his story correctly, he took Dyson vacuums one year from 90 million to 300 million. And his big thing is about purpose and the why and the whole communication. But the one he gave me, I went to a leadership program in Chicago, and it was at Nick Sorello's. He's got a great book called A Slice of the Pie. And they call it a moose. Long story short, it's the elephant in the room. And if you can go to another team member who you're having challenges with and say, hey, you know, I want to address the moose or the elephant or the Kung Fu Panda, it lightens the load, but it also gives me a clear pathway, a system. If I have a challenge with you, if we can resolve it first, awesome. If I have to take it to HR, resentments, a lot of other stuff builds. So we want to empower our teammates to communicate better. So the big thing was, I have a moose with you. Another big part of that is meaning making. Meaning making. When someone says to me, and I got to call my wife out on this, you always, and I would go, that's physically and mentally impossible. Impossible that I always do that. That's what's called meaning making. Another one you might say to a staff member, you're always late. No, that's meaning making. But if I can say, I've noticed on the time clock, which we clock in and clock out on, that you have not started your shift at 9 a.m. for the past 3 days. Is there anything we can do to support you? See the difference in that? Huge difference. And it's all centered around our why of live your best life. No one's living their best life if they can't talk to each other, if they can't communicate, if they can't work through the difficult things on our team. So we're very passionate about that. TJ, who's grown up with me, who runs both locations, he's going to succeed me and own both these schools. I say that publicly. He's very diplomatic about that. I've tended to distance myself from the majority of that today. Our HR department handles that with Letitia and TJ. Of course, upper things they bring to me, but overall, I don't interact with anybody on that level. It's so funny. I had a parent last night wanting to put their membership on hold because they're going on vacation. And I shared simply, in order for us to best serve you, can you please text it through the app? It goes to our admin, and admin oversees both locations. They will be the ones to best serve you. And they were fine with it, but you could tell they were thought for a minute, why can't you do it? Right? Why can't you do it? So I think that's important. Beth's question, can you go to that? You don't have a front desk. You still have an office to have hard call. Yeah, absolutely. If a parent is in an emotional state, right, and they come to you in between classes, the first thing I want to do is talk them off the ledge. But more importantly is I want to give them the direct channels to empower them to know that by going through these direct channels, we are going to best serve you. And you know how it is. I need to talk to you. No, you want to talk to me. You need air or you'll be brain dead in 3 to 4 minutes, right? So when you get that type, of course, the first thing you want to do is reply with an emotional response. Yes, please. How may I serve you? As your class is standing there waiting for you to warm them up because you're a one-person show. Again, I need to talk to you. I really would like to serve you well, but I need to get back into this class. That's an absolute need. Please text me via the app, and I promise you that I will respond to you in the next 24 hours. Right? So again, you want to make sure you do it in a timely and you follow up. I just saw that today. Somebody posted, they didn't call me back right away. I'm pissed off. Right? So you got to do what you say you're going to do. That's integrity. But here's the kicker, and this is how I used to operate. Somebody's upset on a Friday. You don't get back to them right away. By Monday, they've quit, right? I don't know where I heard that in a seminar. So you better get back to them right away. I don't care if it's the weekend or not. But if I can pre-frame it with, we would like to best serve you. And right now, I need to serve the kids on the mat. Would you please shoot me an email, put it through the text in your CRM system, however you communicate, and I will get back to you in 24 business hours, right? That's reasonable. I think that's really reasonable. And no conversation is a hard conversation, Beth, if everybody gets the why. If we're all here to live our best life, every conversation we have is rooted in that value of living your best life. It's not a hard conversation. It's an opportunity to fulfill my brand promise to my community. The minute I go, this is a hard conversation. Oh, so much negativity, so much emotional baggage comes with that. The walls go up. I get defensive. You get defensive, and we're at a stalemate, right? For me, I always wanted to be an opportunity to serve you better. So when my team makes a mistake, I don't go, you made a mistake. That's awful. You suck. Right? I go, well, here's a great opportunity for course correction so that we can live our lives better. Let's take a look at this. Right? And I remind my team constantly, I welcome mistakes. But if you make the same mistake over and over, it's an indication of two things. One, we need to reteach you and train you properly on the system. Or two, well, you might need a mindset shift. Or three, hey, look at that. Or three, you're just not a good fit for our culture. All of those things. But nothing is hard when it comes to fulfilling a brand promise. Nothing is hard if my heart is genuinely rooted in serving people, right? But I get it's easy to be defensive, right? I don't get paid for that. You think just because you pay me, you can talk to me that way? Da, 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 da. No, I didn't set up the relationship right to begin with. I didn't. I didn't. And yesterday was an example of that. And sometimes I catch myself. I was teaching and I'm on a microphone, so I can move on and off the floor, during the warm up and things like that. I reached over, grabbed a lollipop for one kid and gave it to them. The other one, I gave a high five to. Another one gave me a hug. I shook a dad's hand, and I still made it into the class, and because I had somebody warming it up, and it's just, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But Beth, I don't say it to the parent that this is a hard conversation, but the fact that you just said it here, I would think emotionally in your mindset, it's a hard conversation, right? How many times have we look at our significant other or some relationship and say to them, you don't have to say it. I can see it on your face. I can see it in your body language. Please, I want you to take ownership of that. If you're going to write it here and say it's a hard conversation, then I would think internally you might be conveying your energy that way. Anybody with me on that? Who's with me on that? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. So again, when my team does that and says we have a problem, if I can be graphic, my sphincter does this, tightens up. I know, right? I know that's an awful visual, but I want to exaggerate this and drive a point. I share with my team and I course correct instantly. We don't have a problem. We have a challenge. And once we look at it as a challenge, we collectively as a team want to overcome the challenge. You see? But if you ever sit down with a team member and say, we have a problem. We have a problem. Oh man. Guilt, shame. I'm the problem. What's the problem? Is it me? Right? So it goes down this rabbit hole. And so again, the power of words. Think about it. I had a dream. I have a dream. I mean, something as basic as that. Nike, just do it. Right? The power of words. And we hear it all the time. Words can heal or words can harm. Well, guess what? Our body language and our internal voice can do the same. It can do the same. So I just want you to be mindful of that. Okay. All right, man. We're out of time. Can you believe it, Marco? We're out of time. So let's start wrapping up. Today was awesome because of you and your great questions and input and dialogue. Grateful to everybody that's participated today. All right. So let's start by thanking our sponsors to SAW, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids of Life Skills, and LC Accounting. I love these companies, but I always say, are they perfect? No. Do they make mistakes? No. No, yes, they do make mistakes. But I'm willing to go through the highs and the lows. You know why? The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. You want to jump ship and go to another website company? Go for it. You want to deal with the build out and all that other stuff? Go for it. You want to move to another CRM system and go through data conversion, all of that? Go for it. Do not think because you pay somebody, they're supposed to give you the moon and back. There's a lot of work we do on our own because it is a software. Market Muscle said that yesterday in their weekly call. We are a software company. We're not simply a website company. We are a software company, especially when it comes to tech. There's so many errors. There's so many glitches. There's so many updates. Think of your Apple iPhone. So again, I'm willing to go through all the challenges with all five of these companies. Why? Because I haven't bought into what they do. I believe in what they do. And that's what we're trying to do with our schools. I don't want anyone to buy into the culture of one martial arts. I want them to believe in it. If they believe in it, they will spend a lot of money with you organically. But how do you get them to believe? That's really the art of cultivating a legacy business. What else is coming up, Marco? It's time, life, purpose. If you think that an hour is a lot, Archon, you spend 4 days with us. It's going to blow your mind, right? The 4-day experience is phenomenal. And make the investment. You are your own best investment. Please be one of the 20 people. Do it now. As soon as we get done with this, sign up for the 4-day experience. We eat really, really good. We learn a lot. We make lifelong friendships. We have accountability partners, everything. The discipline is only 20 people for 4 days. That is it. That's the way it goes. Cool? Do that now. We also have our It's Time group mentoring. We have beautiful people working with us, Sunjay, Beth, Marty, and it's just a good thing. And I get to hang out with three people I love, Marco, Miss Monique, and Jason. They've earned this opportunity, and to teach something is to learn it twice, and their businesses are growing and thriving, and they are small school owners like you, right? When I hear one more person say to me, well, it's easy for you to say that because you are this and that. No, no, no. No, I'm in the schools every week, at least one day a week. I train my team once a week. I'm in tune with everything a small school owner goes through. I talk to you every day. I work with you every day, and I actively still own schools and participate in them. I don't go back to the glory day of woulda, coulda, shoulda, and feed you regurgitated information that's simply repackaged because I have no idea what's going on today. I could ask ChatGPT, and that's more unauthentic than anything out there, right? People work with us because we are just like you. We're small school owners. Cool. So look up the It's Time group entering. Um, my big takeaways today is you're alive, you're thinking, you're aware, you're awake. Don't go back to sleep, people. Please don't. Continue to get the learning you need. Continue to ask the right questions, get the right answers, and be mindful to take action. If you don't take action, today was a whole waste. This hour was a waste of time. If you don't walk away with something that you're motivated and inspired to take action on now. Cool. All right, folks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my podcast, Where Success Never Sleeps and Mindful Meditations Lives. Follow me at Instagram. Please join our disruptor group. Lots of great files. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars of systems and operating expenses under those files. Why don't I promote it? Because I want you to think, unearth things, dig things, look for things, do your research. They're there. Great reason to join the disruptor group. For everything else, please go to brannonbeliso.com. I'm Brannon Beliso. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Until we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life.